Aston Martin has made some shocking moves in the F1 world, selling part of their Formula One team. The struggles that the car maker has endured on the market have become too much to handle, forcing them into this desperate move. But the plans for 2026 haven't changed a single bit. With Lawrence Stroll's vision still as clear as the first day he entered the sport, what does this sale mean for the shareholders? And more importantly, how is it going to affect Aston Martin's working dynamics? The story of Aston Martin entering Formula One is nothing new to how Formula One operates. A car manufacturer tries its best to enter one of the most elite competitions in the world and use it to boost sales on the other side of the business. Of course, if you're looking for marketing and branding, it doesn't get any better than Formula One. But for Aston Martin, things didn't go as planned. The Silverstone-based squad, known as Racing Point before 2021 when Lawrence Stroll acquired stakes in Aston Martin, has notched some disappointing numbers as a car maker, making their Formula One team look like an unnecessary expense. According to financial reports, the company lost half of its stock value in just the last year. And it doesn't stop there. During the second quarter, the company saw a 34% drop, largely due to lower demand in the market for their cars. You can't blame Lawrence Stroll for doing what he did. At the very least, the team was supposed to boost the car maker's market presence to a great extent, but it didn't actually do that. Let's not forget about U.S. tariffs as well. Despite being one of the lowest in the auto industry at 10%, it still hurts a company already in financial loss. And those 10% tariffs are a bit twisted because they only apply to the first 100,000 vehicles sold. After that, the rate jumps back to the original 27.5% for this category of exports. Once again, no positive outcome for Aston Martin in this regard. And if you're Lawrence Stroll, you know how business is done when things do not go your way. You sell while it still has some value. Still, the fact that he sold part of the Formula One team on paper doesn't mean he's no longer part of the sport. He didn't invest all of those millions in Silverstone just for the project to collapse suddenly. But there are other financial holes that need to be filled, and if you cannot justify them with a profitable business in the world of Formula One, then this is the step you commit to. As I mentioned earlier, the team recorded a 34% drop in the first quarter of this year. And if you want to cover those losses, you need to make moves you hadn't originally planned to. Luckily for Aston Martin, they do have a very lucrative project in Formula One, one worth billions of dollars. According to the latest estimations, Aston Martin's F1 team is valued at an eye-watering $3.2 billion. To make things clearer, Aston Martin sold a minority stake, not the entire team, based on that valuation. The company, Aston Martin Lagonda Global Holdings plc, confirmed that a stake worth $146 million, part of their share in the team's valuation, has been sold and signed off to a new buyer. That money will be used to help cover the ongoing struggles of Aston Martin's core car-making business. But how is Lawrence Stroll involved in this? Aston Martin sold 4.6% of the stakes they owned. However, the consortium that the Canadian billionaire entered with owns a much larger percentage of Aston Martin's F1 team, around 33% to be more precise. It's also run by him, since he's the largest stakeholder. So, a minority sale of 4.6% shouldn't hurt his vision as much as originally projected. In fact, despite Aston Martin the car maker cashing out, there's an agreement between them and Lawrence Stroll that the team will continue to race under the Aston Martin brand. If you've been analyzing the moves Stroll has been making left and right, you'd understand he is far from giving up on delivering a championship-winning car for his son. Two companies, HBS and Excel Partners, valued the team at $2.4 billion. Let's not forget the sale that happened with Arctos Partners as well. Back in 2023, Aston Martin's F1 team made a significant sale with that company, which valued the team at $1.3 billion. If you add up the numbers, the value of the team has skyrocketed, up 246% in just 2 years. So, at the end of the day, we can conclude that Aston Martin's F1 team is now worth $3.2 billion, as we mentioned earlier. But we can also conclude one more fact that might shock you even more. Back in 2018, when Lawrence Stroll first entered Formula One by buying Force India and rebranding it into Racing Point, He invested just $117 million. When talking about this in greater detail, Alonso went on to say, asterisk, actually, I think 80% of the focus is already on 2026. Not only on the engineers and the design team, it's also the drivers ahead. Apart maybe from the two McLaren drivers, the rest of us are just thinking a little bit and dreaming about what could be a good season next year because this year is going to change very little. Asterisk, I think in the second part, the matter that needs to be solved at Aston Martin is obvious, the seat of Lance Stroll. We still don't see how he's going to get motivated and out of the comfort zone he's currently in. And there are a bunch of other candidates who could fill in very well. Alonso is a great card to bet on when it comes to winning a championship, but he's deep in his 40s. I don't think he's the best long-term choice for your team if you nail the regulations right. With Felipe Drugovich waiting on the sidelines and a relationship between Honda and Yuki Tsunoda being brought up again, it's up to Lawrence Stroll to decide whether his son is the best choice to start the 2026 regulations with. With all this in mind, what do you think about the sale of Aston Martin's stake in their F1 team? And more importantly, where do you see them in 2026? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.